So after disbanding the Revolution in October 1986, Prince found himself alone again, musically, for the first time since 1978. Dream Factory on the shelf, Paisley Park was still not complete. He went back to his roots, to his basement studio, to start up a new project. All eyes were on him. This was a time where Prince was continuously, musically becoming like a musical evolution for himself, while piecing together 3 different projects such as Dream Factory, Crystal Ball and Camille. I said on my Facebook post, when Camille takes the crystal ball inside the Dream Factory and comes out with Sign of the Times, marking Sign of the Times right now in this video 30 years of greatness. I call it 30 years of magic. Thank you, Prince. Really good music coming from this album. I just want to keep it really short and sweet, especially with his whole, not experimenting, because he did say, and I quote, he did say this regarding the album. He did say, "I hate the word experiment. It sounds like something you didn't finish." How that works well with this sort of album is the fact that there was 3 different projects going on, all complete projects in a way, but unfortunately he had to strip down a certain project. I think it was Crystal Ball down 30% off, but instead of that he incorporated that into this album. He ended up finishing Sign of the Times in January 1987 and released the album on the 30th of March in the UK and on the 31st in the US and worldwide. And it's basically like he ventures around a diversity scope in his music. He puts the music together, and it's like this album is basically him putting the music before his rock and roll lifestyle. Sign of the Times addresses mature topics such as AIDS, gang violence and drug addiction, and then in the second bit of the album is more like what Prince normally like explores around the themes of lust, love and sex and partying. Really, I have so many songs. This album for me is actually has some memories for me, because when I first started listening to this album and its outtakes, I was starting university, and now it's just ironic now that I'm going to be graduating soon, I'm listening to this album again, celebrating 30 years. Is crazy. It released like 365 days later after Parade was released. Even though the Revolution is no longer together with Prince, they still have an influence in his sound, in his album, especially massively after the success of Parade and their hits. And now we have Housequake, which is like a James Brown sort of horns related sort of sound of Maceo and all of that. Oh, it's just crazy. And then we go into the iconic sound and how he dips his toe into the love pun of If I Was Your Girlfriend and Slow Love and the Ballad of Dorothy Parker, and it is my favorite song of the album, one of my favorites. And Strange Relationship, the demo version, reminds me a lot of the early days of Around the World in a Day. Starfish and Coffee is a lullaby nursery rhyme for me, children's nursery rhyme for me. If you wanted to get your kids involved into Prince's music, play Starfish and Coffee and trust me, they will be listening to it and they'll be hooked. And then eventually, as they gradually get older, they will realize there's other songs he has to give. And especially we've seen the Muppet Show, you've probably seen him reenact that scene. And Hot Thing, Barely 21. And then Forever in My Life. This right now, that song is one of my favorite songs I'm listening to right now. I don't know, I had a dream once and I had that song playing in my head and I woke up and I was humming it to myself. Also, I wanted to say that identity as well with this album. As I mentioned earlier, diversity has been played around, where his band is expanded, but they're not really recognized like, oh, for example, Revolution had a name. His band, they're all individual people working together in the project with him, and obviously he's working solely on himself and who he is, as he's been through a lot of trials and tribulations. Not really anything bad, but any good things have happened. Obviously some things probably have inspired him to write the music he writes, and I like the fact that he basically dips his toe in and giving credit to Camille, who is like his alter ego from the Camille album and the Black album that comes out a year later, bootleg wise, with the whole, like, it works well regarding who Prince is and what he represents. I think he represents freedom. This album reminds me of lots of freedom. There are songs on here that I never used to like until as I got older I tend to understand them a lot more. For example, I Never Could Take the Place of Your Man. I never liked this song until now I realize that it actually works well. If you're in a relationship with someone and person's on a break, don't go off trying to lust yourself into someone else, because they're not gonna replace that position or that place where that person you once loved and you basically took care of, or you cared for position basically. And that song now has more sentiment, and I tend to want to listen back to certain songs as well. It's always my go-to albums if I want to party, like for example It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night. Even though it's a live recording of that track, it's still amazing. I know about Housequake, once that on, you know the party's on, like you have no doubt about that. And You Got the Look of as well is another great one. Soul Train Moments are really good with that one. The Cross is amazing. Another beautiful gospel song, I could say. Like, there should be like a completion of like Prince gospel songs, because there are a few he has released and The Cross is one of them. And he does that a lot in his music, where he's like a hidden message, and he always spreads that message of love and wisdom, and this basically just showing faith. I want to basically read to you the people who were involved, and this is a thank you for them as well. Thank you to Prince, because when Prince was alive, I told him thank you so many times for the parade and the Dream Factory and the Crystal Ball era. The music he released at that time 31 years ago was amazing. And to the people and the personnel who was working with him on this project, I want to say congratulations and well done and thank you. A shout out really to all the musicians and the producers and all the people and the personnel working behind this project as well, working with Prince and giving us, the fans, an album we can listen to, we can create memories on. And those who grew up on it, and now those who are discovering it now, who are realizing that this was a really, musically, it was a good, it's not even just musically, in a way it's part of subculture, because I can see people going back to this and taking themes from this and being inspired by this and help people and educate them basically in society. And that goes to obviously Suzanne Melvin, Eric Leeds, Atlanta Bliss, Susan Rogers as well, especially Susan Rogers. She's the one like was working with Prince alone with him when he was working in that basement I mentioned earlier in the video. Lisa Coleman, Wendy and Lisa did help. Let me tell you this now, Wendy and Lisa did help. Sheila Easton, Sheila E, Bobby Z, Brown Mark, Mika Weaver, Dr. Fink, Jill Jones, of course, Jerome, Jeff Katz, his photography for the album art. Whenever I look at those images, or whenever I look for images of Prince online, or I'm like trying to do a collage or anything like that, or whenever I'm on Tumblr, Jeff Katz photography is the one. He captures Prince in his moment. Like, I just love how he captures Prince in that era, and even post after that era, because he stuck around for a very long time. And I love the album art as well, especially like the backdrop with all the like the Arcadia light effects in the background, and it's just like sex and girls, like alcohol or bars and restaurants, and then there's Prince out of focus in the corner, and it's like, oh my god, it's crazy. I feel like he did it really well, especially with the picture with the band beats as well and Prince in the middle. Oh, that was really nice. And also not to forget Cat. Oh, we can't forget Cat. This is how we was introduced to Cat. So I would like to say happy Sign of the Times Day, I think, if that's the right way to use it. And I'm not gonna go in too deep onto the music. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's not hard to find it. Also, if you haven't seen the film, go ahead and watch the film as well, which this album was inspired by, or not inspired by, was like the soundtrack to like the concert music film, which is like a proper concert music film, but it's more like a stage play really to me, because it's mostly on stage, and then some scenes are shot somewhere else. But you know, I don't need to be going in too deep into the sound really, as you can tell. Make your ears will do the talking for you when you listen to it. The music will do the talking for you as well. Music is all about emotion, bringing out the emotion, and Prince helps us to get that out of us. If I could be honest with you, I have listened to this album about 3 weeks straight when I started listening to it. Especially it started off with listening to the demo of Strange Relationship, and I didn't get a chance to mention some of the songs that were basically out as B-sides, such as Shockadelica, and then Crystal Ball as well, as I mentioned. It actually got re-released in the Crystal Ball album that came out in this, I don't want to embarrass myself because I have so much in my head. I'm sure it came out in 97. And then Power Fantastic, La La He He Hee, La 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 He He Hee. It's just so playful. And then of course Witness the Prosecution, the Soul Psychedelicide Jam. Okay, it's not Psychedelica, it's Psychedelicide. Soul Psychedelicide Jam. I hope I said that right. I know I said it wrong. but I know the music. I know my music, okay? Stay tuned for more videos because I'll be doing more. I've got a Madhouse video coming up. I'm going to talk about the 2 Madhouse albums. Greatness, because they're 10/30. Madhouse number 8 turned 30 in January this year, and number 16 will be turning 30 in November this year, including the Sign of the Times film, which I haven't seen yet. Don't shoot me in my foot yet, but I haven't seen it. So I've seen videos and clips of it, but I haven't seen it. So yeah, and that's another one. Prince was destined for greater and bigger things. After the success of Purple Rain, it was just the start. And like I said, Sign of the Times is one of those albums where it's timeless. It doesn't just work with within the time. You can play it any time of the day. You can play in the Sunshine any time of the day. You could play Forever in My Life any time of the day. You can any time of the day, any time of the year, or any time throughout your life. It is a soundtrack. It is a soundtrack of my life. I feel it's my soundtrack to my beginning of my journey as I dive in deeper into Prince's music and his universe, so to speak. It's very inspirational as well, reading the stories behind the scenes of how he came together and put himself together and create this album and release it. And you know, there's always massive success stories, but the whole story regarding Dream Factory, Crystal Ball and Camille and Make Sign of the Times is quite inspirational, and I really do thank him for it, and his team behind it as well. Don't forget to subscribe or like. I have a Facebook page now, my like page, so if you can't add me on my Facebook page, you can go ahead and like me on my like page. I'm sure to put some stuff up on there. Is Lil Miss CC. That's my Twitter account, and my Facebook like page is Chloe Calvin or CC Crowd Control. I'll give you the link in the description box below. And also share with me your memories and your favorite song from the album. I want to say thank you again, Prince. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys are enjoying the album when you guys listen to it. And I'm going to end this video right here.